Government of Canada's objective has been clear: to develop the vital infrastructure that is critical to our ability to get Canadian resources to global markets.
We've been governing and taking care of and being stewards of our lands and our waters. It was a hard fight, but I'm glad today the courts heard the teachings of our culture and our spirit and how we carry ourselves.
The Trans Mountain Pipeline expansion is a vital strategic interest to Canada. It will be built. We will not have these discussions in public, but construction will go ahead.
I am quite confident that the nature of the conversation that we are having at this point will get the job done.
Between the three of us, we continue to disagree on the question of moving diluted bitumen from Alberta to the Port of Vancouver.
ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਸੁਨੇਹਾ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹਣਾ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਕੋਰਟ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਆਇਆ ਟਰਾਂਸ ਮਾਊਂਟੇਨ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕੋਰਟ ਦੇ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕਿਹੜੇ ਕਦਮ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਚੁੱਕਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਫੈਸਲੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਇਸ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਦਾ ਬਣਨਾ ਪੂਰੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਤੇ ਪੂਰੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਜੌਬਸ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਲ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਅਤੇ ਸਿਰਫ ਇਕੱਲੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਉੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ 99% ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਇਲ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਹੋਰਾਂ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਵਧਾਉਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ। ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ $15 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੇਲ ਹੈ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕੋ ਇੱਕ ਕਸਟਮਰ ਖਰੀਦਦਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ $15 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਇਕੋਨਮੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਨਵੈਸਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਵਧੀਆ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਫ਼ ਸੁਥਰਾ ਬਣਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
To tell you how we are defending you, your resources, your jobs, and the future of our province and our country. For generations, Alberta has been forced to sell our resources to one customer, the United States, and to sell those resources at a major discount. The oil and gas in our ground is owned by each and every Albertan. When we're forced to sell those resources for less than they are worth, the whole country pays a price. Fewer jobs, overstressed hospitals, crowded classrooms. And for almost as long, successive governments in Ottawa and Edmonton failed to change this. Despite having more coastline than any country on the planet, Canada as a whole remains landlocked.
ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਲੰਬੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਦਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਲਟਕਦਾ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹਦਾ ਕਾਫੀ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਸਟ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ BC ਅਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਚਿਰ ਝਗੜਾ ਚੱਲਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ। ਅਖੀਰ 'ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਅਨਾਊਂਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਗੌਰਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਟੇਕ ਓਵਰ ਕਰੇਗੀ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਖਰਚਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਖੁਦ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਅਤੇ ਉਹ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਾਈ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਆਸ ਬੱਝੀ ਕਿ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਸਲਾ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਿਰੇ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਦਾ, ਪਰ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਉਲਝਣਾਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਲਟ ਗਿਆ। ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਲੀਡਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਜਿਵੇਂ UCP ਦੇ ਜੇਸਨ ਕੈਨੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬੇਸ਼ੱਕ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਬਣੇ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ।
The federal government, I believe, acted in good faith in undertaking Aboriginal consultations. But how can the government respond to an ever-moving legal standard? The National Energy Board was clear in its decision that it did not have jurisdiction to regulate marine traffic. These are issues that should not be, at this stage, after $1 billion and years of reviews, endless consultations, we should not be going back to the drawing board yet again.
ਤੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੇਤਾ ਸਟੀਫਨ ਮੈਂਡਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਵੱਖਰੇ ਆ।
Pipeline is one word. There's no S in it, pipelines. Alberta needs more than one pipeline to build a future. The Kinder Morgan pipeline is important, gets built, but we also need to put in place a process and a procedure so that business coming to Alberta and coming to Canada know that if they follow that process, they will be able to get the permits, or they won't be able to get the permits depending on the results. So that one of the first steps need to be done is to make sure that we follow a specific line of support and ways in which we can get First Nation support, make sure we deal with communities so that we don't get in this predicament again. That's what's important. And all we're doing is we're pointing fingers at other groups, and the fact of the matter is it's all a mess. It was a mess when the Conservatives were in power, and the Northern Gateway Pipeline didn't get approved, and now this particular pipeline, Kinder Morgan, it's not getting approved, and I was very disturbed to hear Prime Minister Trudeau said today that there's a whole bunch of consultation that has to go forward. What does that mean? How long are we going to have to be delayed, and how long are we going to have to wait? I guess the final point I'd make is that Alberta is part of Canada, and we have every right to have access to markets, to be able to sell our products. One of our products is heavy oil. We need to have pipelines to move that product throughout North America as well as to ports around the world. So we need to have access. We deserve that as a member of this country.
ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਧਾਰਨੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਯਕੀਨ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟਰਾਂਸ ਮਾਊਂਟੇਨ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਐਕਸਪੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸਹੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਬਣੇਗੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਰਟ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਐਨਾਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫਿਊਚਰ ਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਕਦਮ ਬੜੀ ਹੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਚੁੱਕਾਂਗੇ ਮਸਲੇ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਕੋਰਟ ਨੇ ਆਇਡੈਂਟੀਫਾਈ ਕੀਤੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੋਈ ਕੀ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣਾ ਉਹ ਕੁਝ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਤੇਲ ਹੈ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦਾ ਉਹ ਦੂਜੀਆਂ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਅਸੀਂ 99% ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਤੇਲ ਹੈ ਉਹ US ਨੂੰ ਵੇਚ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਸਾਨੂੰ $15 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਦੇਸ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ $15 ਬਿਲੀਅਨ ਦਾ ਘਾਟਾ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਸਹੀ ਜਾਵੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਬਣਨੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਬਣੇਗੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਢੰਗ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਹੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਤ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਇੰਡੀਜਨਸ ਲੋਕੀਸ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਵਸਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿੱਤ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖੀਏ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਨ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਕਦਮ ਚੁੱਕ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ
ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਸਟ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵੀ ਦੋ ਧੜੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕ ਵੰਡੇ ਆ ਕੁਝ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਪਾਈਪਲਾਈਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਬਣਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹਦੇ ਫਾਇਦੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਨੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਵਾਤਾਵਰਨ ਦੇ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ
We are here because we are so deeply concerned about our future generations. We are so deeply concerned about the land and the waters. But rest assured, there will never, ever be a Kinder Morgan Trans Mountain Pipeline project.
My battle is with oil billionaires who think that they can get away with destroying the climate, with violating Indigenous rights. So I would say that I'm very proud to stand in this fight against the Kinder Morgan Pipeline. I'm very proud to stand strong.
It's not for the country. If they want to do something for the country, they can refine that oil here in Canada and sell it to Canadians. The problem, it's bigger than the farm, right? The problem is that oil is a 19th century technology, and we're not having a discussion about what's next. What can we do instead of? It's just, oh, we've got to pump oil because, you know, we've been doing it now for 100 years, and we don't know anything else.
Think Canada first. That's the important issue. In order to keep us whole, we built a railway. In order to keep us whole, we've built pipelines. This is really the economic future of the next generation. We don't have access to our resources. We're going to be a have-not country. That's what scares me.
I love this place. It's just a jewel of the Yellowhead Highway, Blue River. It doesn't get any better. This whole valley needs it. We really need it bad. The jobs and just the people and everything. We need the pipeline to go through in order to survive.
They were in and out of here quite smoothly, no issues. The impact on the area was minimal. The area is not scarred. If anything, they came through here and you'd never know they were through here by all accounts. So
jobs, jobs, and more jobs. I know they're thinking of bringing in a 500-man camp. They came and they did a big open house, Kinder Morgan did, told us all how to apply for good-paying jobs.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਨੂੰਨੀ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਹੁਣ ਆਇਆ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਹੱਕ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਉਹ ਨਾਰਾਜ਼ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਵਿਰੋਧ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੀ ਲਹਿਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਮਯਾਬੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਆ।
When we talked to the government, we said, in Kinder Morgan, when I went to their AGM, we said, if you win, we all lose, including you. If we win, like we did today, we all win. This is a victory for Canada. The victories were won.
Pipeline will be coming along at the foot of that mountain, and the popular image of Indigenous people is we're not interested in participating in the economic life of the larger community. Wrong. We want this pipeline to go through so that we can improve our economic standing in Canada. And we're not going to stand by and let a bunch of green groups get in our way. And I've already told them, because they've phoned me and they said, we're just trying to help you, Chief Gray. My response was, please, please stop helping me. I do not want your help. I don't know where they get off thinking that my community can continue to live in poverty in this country by opposing developments like this that we see as important.
ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਹ ਜਾਗੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰਧਾਨ ਮੰਤਰੀ ਟਰੂਡੋ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਆ ਕੇ ਰੇਸ਼ਲ ਨੋਟਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਨੇ ਅਲਬਰਟਾ ਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆ ਕੇ ਮਿਲੇ ਆ ਆਪਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਸੁਹਿਰਦ ਨੇ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰੇ ਚੜਾਉਣ ਵਿੱਚ।
We might well touch on NAFTA, although we've had good conversations about that over the past weeks and months. Obviously, we'll be talking about the Trans Mountain Expansion Pipeline, the challenges we're facing, and how we can make sure that this pipeline gets built, because we know Albertans were disappointed, as were many Canadians, with the decision. It was a hard blow to a province that has come through a difficult time and was beginning to see a brighter path forward, and then this really hit hard. We know that, and I've heard that today in conversations with people. We know that in order to get our resources to new markets other than the United States, we have to do it right. We have to make sure that we're getting the environmental protections that Canadians and the world expect. We also need to make sure we're doing it in partnership with Indigenous people. This court response is a difficult one, but it is also giving us a path forward to fix the challenges that we've faced and get this pipeline built. I'm looking forward to talking with Rachel about that and about how we're going to continue to move forward on protecting the environment, because that's also something that Canadians expect. So it's a real pleasure to be here, and I'm very much looking forward to our discussion.
Absolutely. Of course I am too. The Prime Minister and I agree that this pipeline has to get built, and that's good. Of course, that's why the federal government bought the pipeline. You all know my view on the Federal Court of Appeal decision. It identified some problems, including problems that, quite frankly, we inherited from a system that was set up by former Prime Minister Harper. We are focused now on finding a solution. It matters. It matters to thousands of Albertans who just started work or thought they were about to start work. It matters to investors in Alberta. It quite frankly matters to investors outside of the country, and it matters to people who rely on the $10 billion per year that we don't have because this pipeline's not built. And so we're going to be talking about solutions. The Prime Minister's already heard my view is that the Federal Court of Appeal decision in and of itself is probably not going to get us there, and that we have to look at other solutions. And so I look forward to having those conversations today about how we can respect completely and follow everything that we need to with respect to Indigenous consultation, preserve marine safety, and still find a timely solution that restores the burgeoning, the beginnings of investor confidence that we were pleased to start seeing in Alberta that we need to preserve.
A month or two ago, I was meeting with a group of the Indigenous Advisory and Monitoring Committee that we've established for the TMX project. And there are a number of those groups who are indeed around the table and opposed to the project. But they continue to engage and say, well, we don't want the project to go forward. But if it does go forward, this is what we're really concerned about. This stream, this salmon spawning grounds, this particular issue through our traditional territory. These are the things that, if you're going to do it, would be better for us to do it. And it's been very clear and very important that we have a place where even if people think it shouldn't happen, they can contribute and say, well, if it does happen, this would be the better way of doing it. And I think that approach is something that we have to do a better job of demonstrating, saying, okay, are there proposals around shifting the route a bit, around mitigating possible impacts that do make it a better process? And that I think was what was missing from previous consultations, particularly by the previous government, but even as we've improved on the relationship with Indigenous peoples, as the court said, there's more to do.